Well, thank you, Elias, for this introduction. My name is Marc. I'm from SKOPOS Connect, and I brought my colleague Christopher and Lewis from SEAT with me today. And I actually would like to start with a quick poll. Who of you have ever been on a road trip before? All right, you know, a road trip is a great way to travel. And on such a road trip, we would like to take you over the next 20 minutes. You will learn how modern approaches to customer experience research have helped SEAT to increase customer satisfaction by near 25%, and how artificial intelligence can help us to build on that success in the future. But before we get started, what's the most important thing when you go on a road trip? For me, it's the music.
I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 miles. Just to be that man who walks 1,000 miles and falls down at you.
Well, I guess some things never get old. And of course, if we are going on a road trip, we of course need a car for transportation. And if we're already talking about SEAT today, what could be more obvious than a SEAT car? So, are you ready? Everything packed? Then let's have a look at the map next. So the starting point of our road trip is the transformation process currently taking place in the automotive industry, which actually can be divided into the following trends: connectivity, autonomy, sharing, and electricity. So it's also called the CASE transformation process for short. So all these trends are there to stay and gain influence in our everyday life. And failing to be ready for it might be lethal for every car producer. There is no longer a thick line between customer, product, and services. So car producers have to turn into providers of mobility, and they have to be very focused on every touch point through which a customer might talk to them, and talking about AI, maybe even the car itself. Then, of course, we have different aspects and different kinds of clients. So we have individual requirements and needs when it comes to customer and customer satisfaction. And of course, we talked about GDPR yesterday a lot, and legal requirements for data protection is always a huge topic. So all this together combined leads to customer centricity. You have to be very focused on the customer. And at the end of the day, it's like that you really have to be focused on it, and you really need to go forward and make sure that everything is working in this context. Actually, when we're talking about customer experience, you might think, well, we're doing a lot of it, and we want to go forward with it, and we're doing our utmost to be the best in it. And most companies really do believe that they are already providing a superior proposition. But as a CX researcher, I unfortunately have to tell you that the numbers tell a different story. So according to a study that has been conducted in 2005 by Bain & Company, 80% of managers believe they provide a superior proposition. Well, on the other hand, a survey by Setmetrics showed that only 8% of the customers agree. So this is actually a huge gap in delivery. So the perception of what customers and managers think is huge. And that is why it's so important to actively integrate customer feedback into decisions and even corporate strategy. But fortunately, SEAT realized the importance of customer centricity early on, didn't you, Lewis?
Of course we do, Marc. Thank you. And therefore, we are very much focused at customer satisfaction nowadays. I don't know how many of you have a SEAT car. We do get cars, that's a fact, but we cannot sleep by being very happy about this. We need to go some step further. And to do so, at least at the customer care area in the after-sales department in SEAT, we are pretty much focusing on how to satisfy our customers, and to do so we have the CCS, the Customer Care Satisfaction Survey project, which has been always aimed at walking in customer shoes and getting them to stay with us, to drive all along the way with us. That's our main goal. To do so, however, we did not always use the same methods. So back in 2010, for instance, when we started the project with 8 markets, we wanted to make sure that all our newly installed process at after sales were bringing some happiness to our customers. And therefore, we were asking, for instance, okay, how happy you are about exit feedback, or about this, or about this. We were talking our language and expecting our customers to assess on those processes that we were leading. Of course, when we got some valuable responses from our customers, we had something to start acting upon, but not always it was possible. And of course, talking our language to customers, sometimes the response rates were not so convenient for us. So we started moving on as times demanded it, and listening to our customers, and being responsive. And of course, being responsive not only means that we would be ready to listen to our customers in all the devices they were present, but also throughout all the channels where they can express their say, and also throughout all the times that they want to be contacted or that they feel less invaded. That's considering that we work on a multinational basis. That was a big challenge. It was a big challenge as well, and it still is a big challenge, because when we are talking about multi-channel, we have, of course, traditional channels you might think about, but talking about the automotive industry, we have the car as an issuer of information, these driving patterns of this customer, or these preferences when going to the petrol station of this other customer, combining all this together and putting it and giving it sense along with the traditional market research is also a big challenge that we have been working all the way along. And of course, we also wanted to provide something else than a survey, asking our customers how they are feeling about a set of predefined questions, predefined answers as well. We wanted to be listening to our customers and do something out of it. And Christopher will explain later on what has been done with our customers' voice, our customers' sentiments. With all this way, we achieved, as Marc anticipated, a 25% increase in satisfaction of those customers who were initially dissatisfied. So imagine the potential that we could convert really angry customers in 25% of the cases into satisfied customers. That was the evolution that we went through. But of course, we can never sleep. We need to be active, and we need to go somewhere. And when I say we need to go somewhere, it's not a matter of us willing to set different KPIs, different ways or different strategies where to go to, but it is about our customers telling us where to go. And we do our utmost to listen to them, to be attentive to what they are telling us in order to define the actions accordingly. Which are the main elements that are defining customer will nowadays? Of course, broadly talk, customer centricity. For me, customer centricity is about being curious. It's not about, I have great cars, I know they need to be sold because they are the best ones, and let's just find out how to make our customers buy these cars. It's to revert completely this cycle. It's to be curious about what are the customer feelings about our cars and services, mostly services, talking about my area of competences, and trying to find ad hoc solutions for these problems that customers are presenting. And that's the only way we can make sure, by walking in customer shoes, that we will be able to provide the solutions they are looking for. Another main item for our business is predictive retention. So to tell apart one competence from our contact centers that it's not really important, it's not really crucial for our customers when recommending our brand, availability for instance, versus one item which is completely crucial, quality of the information, the fact that they follow up on a case that has been presented from our customers. That is another big challenge to make this technique in order to know what to do in order to keep customers loyal, a perfect one, or at least as close as perfection as we can get. An automated feedback system. We've got alerts that are meant to awake the right persons in the organization at the right time in order to deal with the customer concern. We not only want to have our main figures in terms of loyalty, in terms of satisfaction, but also to have a one-to-one experience from our customers. And if our customer is talking to us in a way that we can resolve his or her concern, we need to be there for them. And to all that, AI is helping us in order to conceal what is the major pool of data we have and the individual actions we need to take in order to recover our customers. So AI is back, as in Fiona's yesterday presentation, animal intelligence. We have a beautiful cat in here. I don't know how many of you have cats. I have 2 myself. If you do not have cats, I think it's enough if you watch cat videos in the YouTube. That will give you roughly an idea of what I'm going to talk about in the next 2 minutes. So you see this beautiful cat. He believes itself, he or she, never know, it believes itself to be anything but a cat. At least a tiger, I would say. So that's what we deal with cats. They believe themselves to be something else. When I deal with my cats, with their problems back at home, I need to make sure that I'm not treating them like simple, small, tiny pets. I need to make sure that I deal with their egos and with their tiger egos. So if I do that, and if I make sure I give them some food, maybe we get to some understanding. Other ways, I'm going to be hated for them, no matter what I did before in my life. They're just going to hate me. And when we are talking about human beings, when we are talking about customers, imagine how more complex can this get, because we are talking about human brains. But of course, there is a principle which is acting as well, which is when we are treating with customer dissatisfaction, we need to be sure that we are considering not only what we believe it is important for the customer, namely in the automotive world, we always give a major importance to technical issues, but we need to make sure that we are in tune with what the customer expectations are, with what the customer idea of a great service is, and with what the customer, if we are able to understand that with our brains, is believing himself to be. And to do that, of course, we have traditional methods, we have brains, but we also have artificial intelligence, which Christopher is going to introduce in greater detail.
Yes, thank you very much, Lewis. Yes, I think indeed AI can really help us at this challenge. But talking about artificial intelligence is sometimes like talking about a car engine. So maybe it's time to have a look under the hood of our car for our road trip. And if you look under the hood of your car, you would quite literally see a black box. And I don't know about you, but I don't know much about how a car engine works. For me, it's simply the black box in my car that gets me from A to B. But if I go to a workshop, the mechanic will know exactly what is going on in this black box. He will know how the different parts in the engine work together, making sure that I get from A to B. And he will know what to do if the car needs fixing. And there is an analogy to artificial intelligence here. AI today is often marketed as such a black box solution, where you put data in and get insights back. And that sounds awesome, right? I mean, how easy can it get? Well, in our experience, it's a bit more complicated than that. But as data scientists and market researchers, we should be able to take the term artificial intelligence apart and see what are the building blocks making up such solutions. The solution we implemented for SEAT consists of those different parts and tools working together. And it uses recent developments from machine learning, such as word embeddings, as well as well-known and reliable statistical methods, such as regression. Our aim for the present case study was to predict individual customer satisfaction based on what people talk about and how they talk about it. And this will, in the end, will enable us to make recommendations to SEAT on what aspects of the customer care process and products and services by SEAT are most relevant to customers. You will find much more detailed, in-depth information on our solution in our paper. And if you're interested in technical details, I recommend you to read it. What I want to highlight today is we could stand here and tell you we got a black box AI solution. Maybe we call it Insights AI. But that would be only a part of the truth. It's in fact even more so that there are different parts and building blocks making the analysis possible. And for us as market researchers, we know some of these tools already quite well. Regression analysis, network analysis, those are tools we already use for a couple of years. But as data scientists, we are able to enrich those traditional analysis approaches by using more recent developments and techniques. But if you want to understand what our model is doing and understand where it might not work perfectly, we need to understand the different tools and parts of the solution. And this is very much like a car engine, like the mechanic in the workshop. He as well knows what different parts are going on and how they need to be corrected or fixed. So I can tell you we got a car, it's working. We have a nice route we want to take. I hope you all packed your luggage, so I think it's time to go on the road trip. And maybe after some months of traveling we come back home and our loved ones at home will ask, what did you see? What adventures did you have? And as much as we love to share photos with them, we would like to show you some highlights of our AI road trip with you today. At this point, many text analytics solutions and software you find online, for example, will show you word clouds. Word clouds are nice to see what words people are using in your survey, but they actually do not provide you any actionable insight. They do not tell you what to do next. Our solution, on the other hand, was designed to relate what customers had to say to how they feel about their experience. Thereby, we are able to really tell SEAT where they have leverage on the customer satisfaction. For example, most often in a survey like we do for SEAT, people talk about their car and why they are in touch with the customer care. But in your traditional word cloud, this would be very visible. Large words like failure, like complaint. But in fact, this is not really relevant to their satisfaction with the touch point itself. What's most relevant to customers, we found out, is that it's the person they are talking to and how they were treated. The more positively they were treated and the more faster the response was, the more satisfied people were with the touch point. We also found out that a goodwill policy is a very helpful and valuable tool for SEAT with measurable impact on customer satisfaction. These results are just a glimpse of what an AI solution or an analytics solution can provide if we have a good question, we have the right data, and choose the right tool set. Therefore, in the end, we were able to tell SEAT on which parts of the customer satisfaction, of the customer care process they have leverage on in order to improve customer satisfaction and customer retention in the long run. And when I come home from a trip myself, I love to plan the next trip right away. So let's not stop here and take a look at where the journey will lead us next. As we have seen in this case study, is that AI can yield additional insights for research clients. And especially in the context of customer experience research, AI can help us to analyze large amounts of data, structured and unstructured data, thereby also creating a fusion, if you will, between qualitative and quantitative data. But, well, I have to say our solution was, or our analysis was limited to one touch point only. And this somewhat limits all our interpretation to this particular touch points. If we have more data, we can ask more elaborate questions. For example, we can make individual predictions in the end, like, will the customer return? Or how likely will he make use of after-sales services? And as Lewis already told before, this is a very, very important goal for SEAT. So, you see, this is only a first step in the long journey of utilizing AI in the customer experience research. And this will go on for a couple of years, and even more projects such as ours will appear. But one common trope is something we saw already yesterday and today, which is diffusion of different data. That is, collecting data along the whole customer journey. And not only through surveys, which are an important tool, but also through internal data, external data, for example, from CRM databases, etc. And this will in the end be the key to unlock the full potential of advanced analytics for customer experience research. And with those insights, I would like to thank you for traveling with us today, and we wish you safe travels for your own journey using artificial intelligence for your data. And I can tell you, if you're looking for a travel companion, we'd love to talk to you. So thank you very much for your attention and safe travels.